So we're going to talk about wire today. Metal wire. You're going to be making jewelry, or you're going to be making some type of design. It could be a window design. If you're going to do earrings, you can do earrings. You want to think about how the wire is going to come together so it's not loose. If you want to have dangling parts, have a hoop around a piece of wire, that's okay. But you want to have two pieces of wire so they're not so loose that they're going to come apart. Now I have different lengths and thicknesses of wire here. The thin wire here is really good for looping around and connecting two pieces of wire. Now one thing you can do is when you're making, so you want to make a spiral here. So you can hold this in your hand, but the main thing is you want to be careful not to poke yourself with the wire, which I just did a few minutes ago. So I take this here, you can take the end of the pliers here, and I can slowly bend it here. You want to slowly bend it here so you have an even bend so you don't get kinks in it. If you do get a kink in it, you can work it out later, but it's better to slowly bend it the way you want it at first. You can make it tighter, then try to go back later. Right here, it's a little too much of a bend, so I'm going to move it in right now. I'm holding it. I can move my pliers away from the center. Now I've gotten the main bend, and try to bend it evenly. So this could be made into some type of earring. There we go, slowly do it. Now be very careful when you're bending, because the wire is soft and these have hard edges here, and they can put little kinks, little nicks into the wire, which you probably don't want to have, so be very careful with that. So I have my spiral right here, but if you look at it, it's not a very even spiral, so I want to go back now and fix it. That's going to take most of the time, is having it look really nice, having even bends, going back and bending it evenly. Now when I'm putting two wires together, I could do lots of things to do that. I'm going to take a bead here, actually one of these colorful beads. You want to think about what you have here, the thickness of the bead compared to the wire you have. So this right here should hopefully work on here. So this could be some type of earring. So if I'm hooking this onto something else here, if I want to make this into a loop, I can bend this over, and I can use my pliers to bend this over here. And I can twist this now. Twist this around. You want to do about 3 twists around if you can. Let's see more here. Because if it doesn't have 3 twists, then it's not going to stay very well. Let me undo this here and bend it down some more. There we go. Hook it out there. There we go. Twist this around here as best I can. Oops. There we go. Get started there. Trying to make an even bend. Twist it around some more. It's not easy to do this. Try to keep it straight. There's a lot of things you're trying to do at once. Try to keep the metal from getting too worked, because it can snap. If you keep bending the metal back and forth, it can snap. So I'm going to take this wire down some more and bend it. Now you don't want to have any edge of the wire sticking out, because that can poke someone. So I'm trying to get a good edge here to clamp this some more. Now you can also secure the twist or anything by hammering. This is a flattening method here. So I can take it on the board here, and I can tap it on here. And then I turn it around and I flatten the other side. Now I don't have any edges here. If I have an edge sticking out here, I can trim that off here. Let's see. This cutter works a little better. It gets a little tighter here and trims it off, because you don't want anybody hurting themselves on it. So I can still file this down a little bit and do other things to it. So right now, the kinks, there's a lot of kinks in here, and I need to work on getting those kinks out. So slowly subtle bends on working, getting the kink out here. Now this is very simple here. I can work on other designs and I need to get the kinks out here, but this gives you an idea of what you can do. In fact, I can curl this up some more. So I can experiment with different designs here. So this isn't perfect. Your first design, your second design might come up very well, but this gives you an idea. Now this is an earring here, about the size. You want to make both the same, look the same. So this here, you want to make sure you draw your design out really well. How you're going to twist the metal, how you're going to curl the metal, and everything else. So if I take two pieces of wire here, and I want to hook them together, let's take two pieces here. If I just take this wire here, I'm going to take some thinner wire to wrap around it. It's much easier to use a thin wire for wrapping around two pieces of metal. So I take this here, hold on to it, and I wrap it around tightly several times here. Try not to overlap. Several times. Now even doing this, the wire can still slip out up and down. I need to make sure I have some bends in here so the wire doesn't come undone. And again, you can also flatten it. But this helps to keep the two wires together. Now they can move like this, you have some joints, as long as they can't fall apart, come loose, and come undone. So these two wires here, I need to figure out how I'm going to clip them off. Am I going to twist it some more, or am I going to clip it? So you need to figure out the design you want. So there's many different ways of putting the wires together. The pamphlet I gave you has many different techniques and things that you can do on here. So I want you to draw the way they have drawn on here how to put things together. So it shows how they weave here. If you're going to weave, I want you to see this example here of how you're weaving. If you have a hoop or some twist, I want to show you what's twisting, what's on top, what's below. This weave right here, you have wire on top of other wires, so I want to see what's on top. So I want to see the laid out plan of what you're doing. Are there any questions about this? A lot of it just has to go with, you're going to work with wire, practice with wire. Don't think that your first try with doing the wire work is going to be your last one. If it is, that's great. But you're going to be experimenting with how to cut wire. Careful so you don't poke yourself with a wire. It's very easy to do. And we have different wires here, different thicknesses. So go for it. So we have lots of tools here. Is there nothing else?
No.
Have fun.